5 reasons Israel's army wins every war it fights. 1. Merkava main battle tank. The brainchild of General Israel Tal, chief of the armored forces, the Merkava is Israel's first and only indigenous main battle tank. The tank was especially designed for Israeli tank doctrine, low to the ground, with a powerful gun. The Merkava even had the engine placed in the front of the tank to provide protection to the crew. Combined with heavily sloped composite armor, Merkava made an excellent defensive tank, well suited to defending against Egyptian armored formations on the Sinai or Syrian forces on the Golan Heights. Early versions of the Merkava had the same British-designed 105mm main gun as the initial versions of the American M1 Abrams. Newer versions are armed with a locally produced 120mm smoothbore gun. The Merkava's main gun is accurate to at least 2,000 meters with high explosive anti-tank (EAT) and armored piercing (AP) rounds. Conventional rounds are supplemented by the Laha missile, capable of being fired from the barrel of the Merkava. The laser-guided Laha can engage targets out to 9,000 meters. Merkava tanks were some of the first armored vehicles to be equipped with active protection systems against guided missiles. Israel has built just over 2,000 Merkavas in all versions, with 660 of the latest Mark IV built. 2. Spike Missile System. The Spike missile is Israel's one-design-fits-all anti-tank guided missile system. The Spike SR, short-range, system is a single-shot, disposable missile system like the old American law. Spike has a thermal seeker, tandem-shaped charge warhead, for defeating reactive armor, and a range of 800 meters. Spike is mounted on everything from ground vehicles to Seraph, Apache, helicopters, naval vessels, and drones. It can be used against tanks and armored vehicles, ships, aircraft, and even individual high-value terrorist targets. Larger versions of the Spike are essentially the same missile, scaled up. Spike MR, similar in class to the American Javelin, has a range of 2,500 meters. Spike LR, similar to the American TOW IIB, has a slightly longer range at 4,000 meters. Finally, Spike ER is similar in characteristics to the American Hellfire. A non-line-of-sight version of Spike, Spike NLOS, trails a fiber optic cable that allows the operator to seek out and destroy targets to a range of 25 kilometers. 3. Namur Armored Personnel Carrier. Most infantry fighting vehicles are not contrary to what one might expect heavily armored. Vehicles such as the M2 Bradley, BMP-3 and Warrior are not particularly armored against incoming tank rounds and modern anti-tank guided missiles, which is odd considering infantry fighting vehicles are expected to fight alongside much more heavily armored tanks. Namur is different however in actually being built from older tanks. A Namur infantry fighting vehicle is an early model Merkava Mk.1 tank with the turret and main gun removed, and an enormous amount of armor applied to the front glacis, sides, and side skirts. A Namur weighs roughly as much as a Merkava before modifications, a testament to the amount of armor that has been added. About 120 Merkavas have been converted into Namurs, enough to equip about 3 battalions. Namur has a crew of 3, including driver, remote weapons station operator, and commander. It can carry 9 infantrymen. 4. Tavor Assault Rifle. Israel's second-generation indigenous rifle, Tavor is the standard infantry weapon of the IDF. A futuristic-looking rifle, the Tavor's bullpup design wherein the magazine is located in the buttstock makes for a compact design while still retaining a rifle-length barrel. The Tavor may look like a 21st century rifle, but its roots are strictly 20th century. The compact rifle uses a gas-operated, rotating bolt design straight out of the AK-47, which in turn was inspired from the M1 Garand. The bullpup design allows the rifle to be a compact 28 inches long while maintaining a 18-inch long barrel. Tavor is chambered in 5.56mm, and can accept standard NATO 30-round magazines. Smaller, more compact versions have shorter barrels and are chambered in the pistol caliber 9mm Parabellum. 5. Smasher Multiple Rocket Launcher System. Israel has a tendency to rename American weapons systems, and this is one case in which the new name is much cooler than the old one. The Smasher rocket launcher is actually the American M270 MRLS. A mainstay of the U.S. Army's artillery branch, the M270 was developed in the 1970s as part of the Big Five of weapons systems that would transform the Army. Based on a modified M2 Bradley chassis, the Smasher carries 12 227mm rockets. A 3-vehicle battery can send 23,184 cluster munitions downrange in 1 minute, saturating at 1 km by 1 km area. Israel has 48 Smasher systems. Currently Israel is limited to rockets with a 40-km range, but new 150-km range rockets are in the pipeline. Such rockets will give Israeli artillery, positioned in Haifa, the ability to strike Damascus.